Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! These are the cards I came out with. As you'll see in the video, I was kind of designing them on the fly. This is now after I recorded the video of making them. And I can tell you that I did use Hold On to Hope, Cross of Hope framelits. These you can get in the Occasions catalog from Stampin' Up! You can get them as a bundle and save yourself 10%. If you need those catalogs, come on over to my website, bevadams.com. Let me know you need a catalog and your address. I'll get those out to you, and I'll also have the directions for this project. I have two couples that are facing the hardest times of their lives, and I'd like to send them cards. They are both full of hope, because they know God, and so I'm really sending these to the couples. I think it's the wives that are probably facing the harder choices. My next step was to go through my card sampler and decide the colors, and I was really drawn to the blues and greens. I love Pool Party. I thought I'd go with that. Wanted a darker color and really liked Tranquil Tide with it. One of the wives is really into butterflies, and the other wife is into gardening and flowers, and so this set was perfect for both of them. I wanted to bring in some color that would be more flowery, so I went through here. I ended up deciding I really liked Peekaboo Peach. I usually choose either Very Vanilla or Whisper White to go with that. So I pulled those out, and I liked the Very Vanilla with that, and wanted to add a little sparkle. So I was thinking about one of the foils. I think that this framelit is going to be lovely with the foil. And so I looked at my foils, and boy, I really like that copper with the peach. This is the way I'm keeping my cardstock these days. I've got my files with the full sheets. But I really am loving having card bases already cut, at least a few, and then some basic card layers. This card layer is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have some other layers. These are 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and so I have my little card files all ready. So I pulled in those largest pieces just to decide the order, trying different arrangements. I think I decided to use the card base in Pool Party, a layer of Tranquil Tide, a layer of Peekaboo Peach, then the copper, and the Very Vanilla. I think that will look really pretty. So my next step is to cut the card bases, and I almost always cut 2 card bases. My go-to size is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, so I want to score both of them at 4 1/4, and then cut at 5 1/2. And so that quickly gives me 2 card bases, and since it's so easy to do and I'm out of Pool Party card bases, I'll go ahead and cut a couple more just to have them in my file. I already had a couple of ovals cut from the copper foil, so I thought I would go ahead and use those and cut a couple of smaller ovals with the Stitched Shapes framelit. This is the largest stitch shape framelit, and it will go inside here. So I'm pulling in my Big Shot using the new Big Shot platform. This is a thin die, so I'm going to use the thin die adapter, a cut-up plate, and I'm going to cut an oval. I also want to cut one of those decorated crosses. I'm going to cut it right from the middle of the copper that I already have, because I just really want the copper border. So I can cut these at the same time. Yeah, I think I'm going to get my die brush out. I just keep my die brush in a stamp case. Nothing like trying something on video for the first time. Oh, and looks like it's going to take more poking, but it did cut through all the way, so let me cut the other one out. And I'm using one of those pieces of cardstock I already pre-cut. They make great sizes for cutting smaller pieces. Already ready to go in the Big Shot. And just to see if it'll help any, I'll go through a second time here. Probably with this detailed die, I could have used the precision base plate. Sometimes you get a better release with the precision base plate. I'm going to stamp this vine, and it has a framelit with it. I have no idea how this will turn out, but I'll give it a try. I'll stamp with Tranquil Tide, but I see there's some flowers that I may be tempted to I'm going to try and pull off some of the ink from the flowers while I'm at it. So I'm just going to squiggle until all of that ink comes off. A little bit more. I'm rolling the pen and finding new bits, so sometimes it's easier to actually look at the stamp on the image on the stamp case. And one more flower. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers. And I'm going to use the Peekaboo Peach marker and color in those flowers. And I guess I could have left some more ink on there, but that's okay. I'm going to see what it looks like cut out and see if this is worth the trouble. So I'll bring my Big Shot back in. So I've got the same thin die adapter. And see how that, oh, that lines up nicely. I could be using my magnetic plate. We'll see how it sticks. Just for fun, I'll go through twice. Oh, that popped out really easy. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that for both of them. Okay, I've got this one stamped. I'm going to stamp the chrysanthemum. And because this is a lighter color, I can color right over the orange with the Tranquil Tide. And I already stamped the butterfly because there are dies for all of those in this bundle, and I just love it. Pulling in my Big Shot again, and I moved that paper out from under because it was making my life a little bit more difficult. I decided to use the magnetic platform. I don't need the thin die adapter. This is already thick enough. And got my cut-up plate. And these are easy to position, but they'll stay put a lot easier. As long as those little dot magnets on the back are in the right place. Nope, that one's not going to want to stay. So I'll cut that one in as a second pass. Clear plate on top. Run it through twice. Pops right out. And the thing about the little die pieces, if they're not right where those dots are, you can just kind of move them around and kind of place your framelit where you want it, and then move your paper underneath it. It's kind of easier. I want to be sure and get all of my parts back in my case. I have the magnet holding these down, and I have photocopied my framelits before I even took them off the original plate. The next challenge is to figure out layout. I imagined having all of these layers like so, cutting this one down a little bit, but I felt like this was too much orange. And so I'm playing around with a little bit less. I want to have these together. In fact, I want to do some stamping on there, and maybe I should do that next just to get it. I know I want to do some stamping on here, so let me do that next. I'm just going to stamp that with Peekaboo Peach. And I'll stamp that on both of these. And then I'm going to adhere that right directly over that. So I'm going to use the fine tip glue pen. Pretty. The fine tip glue pen doesn't always stick right away, but if you can manage to leave it where you want it for a little bit, it really sticks quite strong. And I'll go ahead and stick these to the copper foil. That's something I know I want to do. One of the things that you're seeing is kind of design on the fly, which means designing on the fly, which means you see all my oopsies and my trying to figure things out. And but the other thing you also, I hope you're hearing, is actual delight as I discover how wonderful this stamp set and die is. But I need to adhere that one a little bit better. But it's already the afternoon of the Thursday that I like to post. I'm running late this week. So pretty. Okay, now I'll see if I can figure out the layout. I want to put this on. I think I want to put this on, but I'm not quite ready to stick that down yet. Kind of pretty just by itself, isn't it? Do I want the orange? Do I want the Peekaboo Peach? It would make it easier to actually adhere that greeting. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it like that. Okay, so I don't need any ribbon. I can go ahead and adhere this to my card. I want to go ahead and stamp my Hold On to Hope in Tranquil Tide. Do that on the bottom left side. I always like to stamp before I adhere things down in case I have an oopsie. I will go ahead and adhere these to the bottom left of my card. Just with a little tiny, tiny border, I think. And we'll put dimensionals on the back of this. So I will put a little bit of adhesive in the corners. You know, people always ask what my favorite adhesive is, and you see me flipping all over back and forth between all of them because they're all really my favorites. Oh, pretty. And I'll put the large greeting also in Tranquil Tide for the inside of the card. Really quite beautiful. And I think I'm going to put the butterfly on one of them. So this is for my friends Tom and Nancy. Tom and Nancy, I wish you both the very best. I know that you have hope, even if the doctor's predictions for Tom are true. You do have the hope of the future in Christ. And to Steve and Kristen, hold on to hope. And I know that you are relying on God, and I just hope that the doctors are wrong, and but it is well either way.